this cartoon from your childhood. We would watch Jack on his adventures trying to return to the past. Now, as adults, we were lucky enough to get to see the conclusion of the series. The new season of the show was highly watchable. In fact, we looked forward to watching it every week, although when it came to the finale, we were left feeling a bit bereft. Last week, we made a video explaining some of the issues we found with the finale. However, we were a bit disappointed in how that one turned out, so we are remaking it now in a bit more detail and taking a bit more time to explain things in a less rushed manner. We were just greatly saddened by the series concluding in such a paradox-laden manner. We are going to break down our analysis by individual character rather than all at once like the last video, beginning with Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack was exposed to battle training from a young age when Aku took over the town he lived in and imprisoned his family. Once he became seasoned in battle, learning training techniques from various cultures all around the world, he was ready to take on Aku with his magical sword passed down from his father. Whilst battling Aku, he was thrusted forward into the future through a time portal Aku created, and then spent many a year trying to return to the past, which is the whole premise of the series. At the end of Season 5, Jack is sent back into the past to the point right after his past self was sent into the future. Future Jack quickly dispatched past Aku. After this, the town rejoices and things return to peace and normality for the citizens. This is where the potential time split paradox occurs for Jack, for without Aku, Future Jack would not exist and should have disappeared by time travel standard rules. Theoretically, this could also be a time split where future Aku was never destroyed, and perhaps this is why Jack still exists. Eliminating past Aku should have also eliminated his future counterpart. In the newest series, Jack mentions how he is not affected by time and does not age. There are two possibilities for this occurrence, one being his sword protects him from time, just like the Celtic magic protects the Scotsman from fully disappearing upon his death. The sword was always with Jack in some way and could have played a part in protecting him from time effects. Even though he lost it for a time, it was still with him in spirit, thus why he regained it from introspection. This theory contradicts the fact that Aku was able to send Jack forward into time, though, as he would have theoretically been protected from that in the first place. It seems as though Aku sending past Jack forward in time effectively stopped the aging process for Jack, although things around him still progress. In theory, after future Jack defeats past Aku, past Jack that got sent into the future could have been sent into two potential timelines. Either he was sent back into the future where Aku still exists, which makes sense since future Aku was never defeated. Either that or he was sent into a future without Aku, and more than likely to some sort of utopia, but there would still be the dilemma of him trying to get back into the past since he is in a timeline in which he does not belong. This just creates further questions. Further, future Jack, failing to disappear, is still unexplained but is most likely due to the alternate timeline where Aku still exists, which would explain why future Jack never disappeared. This seems to be the most accurate explanation and possibility. And now we come to the shape-shifting Master of Darkness, Aku. Although he is supreme evil, he is quite hilarious and made us laugh on a number of occasions, particularly when he is in a puddle due to depression and boredom. He uses his ultimate powers to mess with Jack as much as possible, but ultimately even Aku ends up in a rut. Timeline-wise, there isn't too much to mention for him except for the finale in which he's defeated. It is not understood as to why he did not use the time travel technique to move himself through time when future Jack and Ashi go back to the past, since he could have stopped them. The finale felt a bit rushed, and although it would have been amusing to have two Akus in the past, it seems there was not enough time for the creators to have fun with the time paradoxes. In theory, though, he could have certainly gone back to assist himself or to prevent his demise at any point. This is, of course, relatively speaking, assuming this timeline still exists, which is what we discussed in Jack's analysis, and which is the most likely scenario. Lastly, we come to Ashi. Ashi is the last known survivor from her sisters, members of the Daughters of Aku. In the short time we came to know her, she quickly became a fan favorite with all of her adorable outfits and character development. Although she starts off trying desperately to defeat Samurai Jack, which is her sole purpose in life, she eventually becomes a great ally and love interest to him. Upon discovering that she had the same powers as Aku, she quickly overpowered Aku's will over her and sent herself and Jack back into the past. How she learned the time travel technique so quickly is a major plot hole but was needed to finish the series within the final episode. After they returned to the past and defeated Aku, Based on standard established time travel rules, she should have immediately disappeared, as without Aku, her father, she would have ceased to exist. If there was a split in the timeline, her existence would make sense, just as Jack is still around. If there's a future where Aku still reigns, she would in fact still exist for some time. She continued to exist for at least a few months, if we had to guess, since a huge formal wedding was organized for her and Jack. During the wedding, she inexplicably collapses and then disappears at this point. Having her disappear all of a sudden makes no sense with the timeline split, however. She even states, "Without Aku, I do not exist," or something to this effect. We were expecting her to disappear, much like the newspaper clipping and matchbook change in the second Back to the Future film, right after Marty burns the sports almanac. But it should have occurred right after Aku was defeated. It is a major plot hole that she continued to exist in the past at all. The fact that there's no pleasant ending for poor Jack after all this time and after spending his whole childhood and 50 years in the future dedicated to defeating one entity, the fact that he does not get to spend the rest of his life with his one true love is incredibly disappointing and depressing. Even though the series is complete, we feel incomplete and as if there was no closure. We hope there will be some future explanation for all of these paradoxes, and we can hope that Jack will somehow regain his Ashi in some way or form, but alas, we know this will not happen. In our minds, we will pretend like the last couple of minutes of the episode, right before she disappears, did not take place and are non-canon, and wish Jack many years of happiness with his wife and soulmate Ashi, since it is, quite frankly, no less than he deserves. Jack deserves peace and to be with the one he loves, just as the rest of us do. Overall, Samurai Jack is one of our favorite Cartoon Network shows and deserves our admiration and gratitude for telling such a thrilling tale. We really enjoyed the comedic action of the series. We just wish the ending was a bit more composed and gave us a bit more closure since it had been such a long-awaited ending to the story. Hopefully, in the end, Cartoon Network will pick up other shows that were never finished and complete them as well. If you enjoyed our video, please check out our main channel, Captain Kira Official, for Platinum Trophy hunting, our multiplayer gaming on Co-op Companions, and this channel for more non-gameplay videos. You can also follow us on Twitter at Best Captain Kira, Twitch, Captain Kira Official, Facebook at Best Captain Kira, Instagram at Captain Kira Official, and Snapchat Best Captain Kira. If you have any other time travel theories or comments, please feel free to comment below, and thank you for watching.